Version control system is not new and have been in use for a long time now, evolving in the process. So, before we get into the Git and its capabilities, let's start by understanding different version control systems available in the market. Majority of version control systems can be divided into two broad categories: centralized version control system and distributed version control system. In centralized version control system, there is a server where the master copy of the code is maintained and one or more developers communicate with the server and pull the code to get a copy on the local system. Once developer has the copy, they can make the necessary changes and commit the code. Note that there will be one repository of the code with all the history of the versions and changes done. When it comes to distributed version control system, most of the mechanism remains the same as centralized version control system. The one major difference being, instead of single repository which is the server, here every developer have their own server and copy of entire history or version of the code. In simple terms, every client can work in locally and disconnected, which is more convenient than the centralized version control system. Now, if we have to make a quick comparison of centralized and distributed version control system, the centralized version control system is a client server model, and server has the latest code at any given point of time. Since there is only one master copy, multiple developers would commit the code simultaneously, thereby locking the files at the time of changes. This might restrict your team to work effectively, as quite often two or more developers would want to modify the same source files, making centralized version control systems a bottleneck. Though there are ways to get around this, it becomes increasingly tough as team size increase. The distributed version control system, on the other hand, is a peer-to-peer model and allows developers to work independently with their own version of the code locally and merge at the end with other developers or the master. There might be need for a merge effort with multiple branches created. This can be easily handled with a better branching strategy. Some of the centralized version control systems you are already familiar include SVN, Perforce, Team Foundation Server, CWS.OS, and many more. Similarly, distributed version control systems are GitHub, Azure Repos, GitLab, Bitbucket, etc.